This is Scotty Montgomery, head football coach of the ECU Pirates, and you're listening to The Drive with Mark Panichelli on the 252 ESPN Radio Network.
Tonight, NBA Countdown, 7:30 p.m. It is the NBA Draft Lottery tonight. We're going to find out where the ping pong balls are going to end up tonight and who's going to get the number one pick in the upcoming NBA Draft. And then at 8:30 p.m., Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. The Celtics take on the Cavaliers from the TD Garden. You catch all of the action right here on 252 ESPN Radio. Celtics again lead 1-0. And I know everybody knows this, but I have to remind you. The Celtics are now 37-0 all-time in best-of-7 series. When they take a 2-0 lead, they have won all 37 previous times that they've done that. I want to welcome Carolina Oliveras into our studios. Carolina, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you.
Do you like the new studio?
I do. It's nice. It's
better than yesterday.
It's spacious. Yes, I felt like I was like being pinned against the wall yesterday, if I'm being honest.
So this room, I would say, I don't know. It's like a 12 by 12 foot room, probably maybe 15 by 15 or so. It's not a huge room, but it's big enough. The tables yesterday literally were pushed against the wall to where we had to like sidestep, and there was an enormous amount of open space in the room.
Yeah. Well, we still have a little open space. I like this setup. I think this will be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Before we start the headlines today, Carolina and I were talking earlier, as we do most every day. We get to work and spend a few minutes talking before we actually start working. And she told me what may be the greatest thing ever in the history of anything I was told at work, at least recently. And I thought maybe it was just me until I told Sam, and Sam said, no, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard as well. Because, we all have families, and I'm, whatever degree of closeness your family is or not, I have to tell you, I think a family that races together is a family that stays together. And I said races, not racist, but a family that races together. You told me that this family argument about who was faster.
No, who's the least slowest?
So who's the slowest has led to your family is going to conduct an actual foot race to determine who is the slowest amongst two family members.
Yes,
right?
My brother and my sister.
So how did all of this start?
Whoa. Hold on just a second. I want to remind everybody that these are all grown-up adults.
Yes, all over the age of 20, except for Leslie.
This is fantastic. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt.
No, I mean, it started last Friday. We had a softball game, and my dad bats after me. My brother bats before me. But I was on first base, and my dad hit a shot to right center, and I froze, not because, oh, my God, I didn't know what to do, but I didn't know if the guy was going to catch it or if it was going to drop. But when it dropped, I took off to second, and I got forced out at second. And then I come back in the dugout, and my brother goes, dude, why'd you jog to second? Like, you didn't even run.
You were like, what? I was doing
and I was
all
like,
I had.
dude, don't be rude. Like, I got offended. I was like, that's my speed. He goes, oh, wow, well, okay. So then on Sunday, he brings it up again, like calling me out for being slow. And I'm like, dude, I was, fighting and defending myself. Like, I turned to go to second, and you're never at second for me to even, like, consider going to two. I'm like, you're slow as heck. He was like, no, I'm fast. When the moment he said he was fast, everybody in the house, like, their heads turned so quick. And then Stephanie got involved. And Stephanie was like, because he was trying to say he wasn't calling me slow, and Stephanie was like,
hold on. Because we all know this. Stephanie is your other sister.
Yes, Stephanie is. Stephanie Jaggy.
And they're all slow.
We're all slow. We are all very slow. And that's what she was saying. But my brother says that he's not slow, that he is fast.
Right.
That he just doesn't try hard enough, and I'm like, well, why the heck aren't you trying enough? Like, I would like to see this, the speed. So they started bickering with each other, and they started asking around, like, who do you think is faster? And who do you think? And Jocelyn, my brother asked Jocelyn, he's like, no one's gonna get offended. She was like, okay, Stephanie. What? Like, he had like the funniest reaction ever. So then Stephanie asked my dad.
It's fantastic.
And then my dad was like, he's like, Dad, just say. He's okay, got it, like me, like Carolina. And then he was like, She said,
It's not you.
that's what you think. That's what you honestly think. But anyways, he said me. He says he has his money on me. But I said, Stephanie was like, she's not involved in this. It's between my brother. It's between my brother and her. And he said, he gave her the, I think you, but I'm just going to say my brother out loud just because I don't want him to get offended. So it was supposed to be yesterday, and I waited all day.
Right.
But, we had a annoying game yesterday, tough loss, and we weren't in the mood. So, it's supposed to be this Sunday. We're going to have a family barbecue and, grill at the park and then just...
I love it because, most of my family trash talking moments just are that. It's just two, me talking trash or somebody else talking trash. We don't really follow up on, is what I'm saying, on, oh, yeah, well, we'll go outside right now and settle this. That is what I am most impressed with.
That's how we
is
are.
The follow through on this thing.
100%. I guess I really wish you guys would open it up to everybody, though.
No,
because to everybody
they
in the
wouldn't
family?
want to do
Yeah,
that.
if I had to rank it, and
Okay.
can I include your dad in this?
Yes.
I'm going to go, because I told you both immediately, I
great.
said Stephanie. Stephanie, I think, the fastest. The
You
fastest
just like
Oliveras.
to kiss Stephanie's butt. Let's be
Me
serious.
and Stephanie are cool like that.
Oh.
But so I'm gonna go Stephanie. I'm gonna go your dad,
Okay.
your brother, you, Jackie. Jackie's slow.
Whoa, okay. Whoa. Now I'm getting offended, and I know you're doing this on purpose because my brother is not faster than me.
I don't know.
This is annoying. You're just trying to get me to race, and it has nothing to do with me. I'm going to let them handle it, and I'm just going to watch.
Yes.
I am going to watch, and I'm going to enjoy this whole thing because you guys don't know, but
Who you calling you people?
the people that are listening, you people don't understand how slow we actually all are. That's why I just,
funny.
hit it far enough to where I'm like, hey, I got a triple yesterday. I have to hit
you
it pretty
did.
far to get to 3. But that's what I do. And sometimes, my brother, I've already learned that having him in front of me is just not.
You'd have made it home.
Not
It would have been
smart.
an inside the park home run if your brother had gotten home faster.
But I thought it was funny.
It's true. I was halfway to third when I realized that he was just getting to third. So I had to go back to second. So when he started running home, I started running to third. I didn't want to do the whole pickle situation where I didn't know if he was going to be going or not.
Oh,
But he went.
Are you filming it though?
I'm going to film it.
Please.
Oh,
And I'm
this is
probably going to
fantastic.
post it.
I really need to get odds set up on this because I want to put money on Stephanie. I know she's faster than your brother.
Yeah.
You
that's what I think.
might be sneaky. I haven't seen you go on a full out sprint for a while.
Well, yeah, well, you.
But I think Stephanie blows everyone out of the water.
It's fantastic.
I don't know about blows.
It's fantastic.
But it's awesome. I think if people really knew, you guys know my siblings. We're the worst people to compete because we're very competitive, but it usually turns into fights, yelling, tears,
Oh, we know.
shoving
Yeah.
and pushing and
We are quite
yeah,
aware.
no. If I remember correctly, it feels like didn't you guys don't you not play board games or something at your house? Do I remember some
No,
story about that?
we do not
Okay.
play board games.
Because
Well, my mom bought us Connect 4 and it turned into a disaster.
yes,
It turned into my brother picking up the thing and throwing it.
they are that competitive. They cannot play
no.
Connect 4 or just a simple.
And we're not patient enough for Monopoly or any of those things. Guess who? We just want to go outside and hit each other.
So I love to play board games, but I think both of you will probably be like, okay, that makes sense because you know me a little bit. But people don't like to play board games with me, especially Monopoly, because I'm very good at Monopoly and I take it very seriously.
Right.
But I'm the kind of person, once I start winning Monopoly, I start running my mouth and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And
So
people,
you're the team we played last night.
yeah,
that we
I am
hated.
the one
Okay.
I'm gonna beat you, and then I'm gonna rub your nose in it to the point where it's like, okay, Sam, I don't want to play Monopoly with you anymore. I tried to
done.
get Rachel to play Monopoly with me, and we did twice, and now she won't
Yeah.
play Monopoly with me anymore. She's
Yeah.
like, it's not fun with you.
I haven't played Monopoly since I was probably 9 or 8. I don't
My-
think I ever really learned how to play it because we
My
were like, this
wife-
is boring.
Is an Uno hustler.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, I love
Yeah,
Uno.
she's one of those people, especially when you play the 2-man, two people playing against one another. She always sets it up in the, oh, I'm sorry, here's how I'm going out. Draw 2, draw 4, reverse you, skip you, blue, draw 4, Uno, and then you'll lay down a blue 3 just to sort of go out like that. I mean, she kind of suckered me into it, and then all of a sudden I was like you were talking about, you can't win, and it's no fun. Right. Absolutely no fun. Uno hustling. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, you don't want to play with us. No, we're bad. And Jackie and I think, are the most competitive people, and that's the only sibling I hate losing to is Jackie.
Jackie?
Yeah, and then
because she's the mouthiest?
Yeah. She just, no, it's not even mouthiest. She just has such a smug look, and I cannot stand it. I'm just like, I hate it. Like, we played wiffle ball the other day, and, everything, It was just Leslie, Jocelyn, and I, we were having so much fun, like, everything was cool. And my brother comes out, and then turns into this big old competition. Like, he didn't let go of the bat.
I love that.
Like, he didn't let go of the bat. I'm like, let me try. He was like, no, like, why? You're just going to embarrass yourself. And then, I get angry. Like, I'm not going to lie. I get so mad and then annoyed. So then he starts, pitching. Then I start smacking it back at him. And he's like, stop. Like, and then we just start fighting. And then my parents are like, guys, like, calm down. Mind you, I'm almost 30, and he's like 29.
Yes.
So,
that's the biggest point.
And it probably started like just, again, you were talking, just friendly, like, let's throw the ball and let's hit it. And just ha. And then it's like, no, Ghost Man on first. You're out. You're out.
No, it's
I tagged you. I tagged you.
It is true. Like, when we were kids, we would go, we're going to go practice. And my mom would warn us, do not come back mad. Do not be nice to each other. I don't want to hear any complaining. We come back, we're crying, we're bleeding, we're like tears, like throwing stuff. And
this was last week, right? Where
last year.
And said that.
Always. And I know my parents kind of secretly enjoy it, even though they're like, don't fight. But then they're like, oh my God. And they'll start laughing because it's just.
It's great. It is great. All right. We got headlines to do, right?
Yeah.
Today's headlines brought to you by our good friends at Taqueria San Luis. And did you know today is Taco Tuesday? Tacos are just $1.25 from now until about 8 o'clock. I think exactly 8 o'clock. That's when they close. $1.25 tacos, 1706 Highway 70, just outside of New Bern and James City. But everything they've got there is authentic. The burritos are phenomenal. I just got one of those burritos. I like your description of it. It's a 2-liter.
Wrapped in a flour tortilla.
Yes, wrapped in a flour tortilla. It's gigantic, the burrito there. So 1706 Highway 70, just outside of New Bern. Taqueria San Luis, proud sponsors of today's headlines.
By David Newton, ESPN staff writer. Pittsburgh Steelers minority owner David Tepper is expected to sign the deal Tuesday to buy the Panthers and keep them in North Carolina, a league source told ESPN Seth Wickersham and Adam Schefter. A source confirmed to ESPN that the Panthers will be sold for $2.2 billion. That will set a record for the highest sell price for an NFL team. Oh, you confused. You guys keep looking back, so I just felt like...
My wife just walked in, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just waving at her. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Surpassing the $1.4 billion that the Buffalo Bills were sold in 2014. The NBA's Houston Rockets also sold for $2.2 billion in 2017.
That is a lot of money. Can we just, for a minute... This guy is responsible for some like $11 billion.
His net worth is $11 billion. The hedge fund manager.
Yeah, and he essentially is going to write. I mean, everybody else that buys a team has puts $20 million in actual fundage, and then goes and borrows and has investors, and they kind of put together the billions of dollars.
You basically put a loan down for the team, and it's essentially like mortgaging your house.
Yes.
Normally.
Yes. This guy just is like, I like to pretend, let's face it, he probably just got issued a cashier's check and it was probably all done electronically. My wife is actually in the banking industry, but that would probably be really boring for her to come in and tell us actually how they did it. She's like, no. But here's what's interesting. This guy is just paying outright for it, is what we were talking. I mean, he's essentially writing a $2 billion check. I mean, that's rich, man. When you write a $2 billion check, and it's okay because I still have $9 billion.
Right.
I'll make it.
And an NFL team that's gonna. That's the thing. Like, you normally have to think about
that he has no overhead.
No overhead. He's all for profit now. I mean, he still has a lot of overhead. Thinking about the fact that he has a stadium and
he may want to get some of that money back.
Overhead, right? But look, I'm really excited about this because everything I've read about this guy and heard about this guy so far is that he is number one, just brilliant and a genius. He was ranked number 5 by Forbes as the world's most well-off hedge fund managers. Okay,
yes.
So all the hedge fund managers in the world, this guy slots in at number 5. So that's awesome. He knows how to run a business.
Yep.
There was reporting that he is so smart and was so smart as a kid that he was doing like advanced multiplication and like functions in algebra at the age of 4. Okay, so this guy really was something special.
He's like Ryan Fitzpatrick's kid.
Right, yeah. So, and they've done some, it's been, obviously, when you're in that kind of position, there's going to be a lot of articles and interviews about you and whatnot. And they talked to people that knew him well and like went to school with him and everything. And they said that Tepper was essentially depicted as the class clown in high school, and that he was voted as the best actor in his senior musical. He's an avid sports fan. He loves football. He loves baseball. He already has a 5% ownership in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, the guy is already familiar with the way football teams work, how the day-to-day operations and the ownership goes. So he seems like he's a really high-energy, fun guy who has a lot of money. And I think the biggest thing, and I didn't even know this was an issue.
I didn't either.
But the biggest thing is,
with,
the fact that the Carolina Panthers are staying in Carolina.
Yes.
Which is stupid to me because you have a well-renovated and well-upkept stadium. It's smack dab in Charlotte, which is a highly affluent city that is only growing, and it is simply hours from other massive population hubs. You think about South Carolina, you think about Raleigh and Fayetteville and stuff like that. Charlotte is a perfect spot for a football team. So the reporting that, he's going to keep them here in Carolina, I was surprised to hear that because I didn't even know that was going to be a concern.
I didn't either. We're going to reserve some time to talk about this, but we literally have 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. So we got to hurry up.
Then I'm going to read the first sentence. By David Perdue, ESPN staff writer. The Supreme Court struck down a federal law that prohibits sports gambling Monday in a landmark decision that gives the states the go-ahead to legalize betting on sports.
Well, we talked about this at the end of the show yesterday, Sam. First off, what's interesting is there's the thought that this is going to have a huge impact. It may, without question. But Brent Musburger was on earlier this morning on Golick and Wingo, and he said, let's hold on, because the truth is, and Sam, you can attest to this too, everybody that's wanted to bet online has been able to for the last few years. They just couldn't do it on websites that were based in the States. So I hope this will have some sort of impact, a positive impact on our sports economy specifically. But it's interesting because the truth is it's not as if it was impossible for people to gamble online before yesterday.
Right, yeah. And so I guess the only thing I would add as to what we talked about yesterday and what you had to say there is, man, this is good for us.
Oh, it's great
and
for us.
This is good for sports. Sports is already such a massive market, but if you remove the stigma of illegal gambling and you open that up to the general public, now all of a sudden, I mean, you think about how many people only care about sports because of the gambling side of it. Now you open that up to even more people, the people who are too afraid to go to these illegal websites. This is good for us, man. We're going to be rich. We're going to be rich. More ears, more eyes, more viewership. We're going to be rich.
We're going to be rich, Carolina. Rich.
I like that. Sweet.
Fantastic.
Rich.
Rich. Let's take a break. When we come back, the real LeBron James. Will we see him tonight? Because I didn't see him Sunday. We'll take a break.